to the winging. Hi guys, welcome to WATN. Where are they now? We've gone into prime time, 7 o'clock on a Tuesday night.
We're here.
Yeah, we're here. And we also have the live stream app on Discover TV. So go in there, post your questions, ask any questions of our guests. We love your comments, so keep them coming, okay? As you know, every week we talk to iconic South African music artists, people in the music biz, local, international, and we find out how they came to this point in their lives, which have been very well lived. And we discover what makes them tick, okay? Tick. We're in the studio today. Is a musician, vocalist, actor, composer, winner of tons of awards for his works, in front of and behind the instruments. Yes, indeed. I'm very lucky to have worked with him on various occasions, various projects, and I'm very honored to welcome him into the studio tonight. Neill Solomon.
How are you, Sins?
Can you believe we're sitting side by side?
Yeah.
So I had load shedding, and I went panicking, calling Neill, who lives down the road from me.
And this is social distancing.
This is social distancing. We're very far away, okay? We're not breaking any laws.
A bit close.
We look close, but we're not really. It's an illusion.
Yeah.
So Neill kindly said to me, hey, it's cool. Come on over. And we're doing it in Neill's studio, which is awesome for me. I always like to tell my guests, this is a safe place to talk about your stuff. We like to know who did what's, when's, how's, who's, and for how long.
It's a long road.
It's a very long road. And we like the scoop and the dish, and we just begin from the beginning. I always like to ask the first question, when did the music bug get you? Where were you living? Where were you growing up? Talk a bit about your, take you far back.
Yeah. So before, I was very young, and at school we had a band where we had, it's many guys have said it, but we had a band with boxes and tennis rackets and all that. And I remember the first one, a virtual band, and we had the speakers going, and we played out to the street at my friend's house, and we mimed to the Kinks' "Tired of Waiting," which still is one of my favorite songs. What a great song! So that's where it started, kind of thing. And then I used to sit and get the Hoover or the vacuum cleaner cables in the lounge at home to kind of look like a recording studio that I saw the Beatles, in with all the cables. So that's where it started.
But that is so delightful.
Yeah.
How many of us did? I mean, how many girls had the hairbrush?
Absolutely.
And singing like that. Yeah. And if you're telling, that was like air guitar. And
it was air cables.
Air cables.
Yeah.
I love that.
Air tennis rackets.
Air tennis rackets. Yeah. He discovered air instruments.
Exactly.
Let's just put it like
Long
that.
before air guitar.
Air
guitar.
Neill, your journey from there, when did you start playing real instruments?
I grew up in my mom's side of the family were very musical. My uncle was a pianist in Pretoria called Pfaff Germany. He was a famous jazz pianist. Okay. He went to America on a trip and ended up playing in front of Duke Ellington or one of those kind of people. And my mom's sister married a famous trumpeter called Gene Peterson, who South Africans would know. He had hit songs with Love Is Blue, and he did a track with David Gresham.
Okay.
And so it was in the family, and I was just hooked on music from about the age of 9. And my parents bought me a guitar, and it was an untunable guitar. And I really thought I'm really, really bad. Not that I became such a great guitar player, but but yeah. And then later, my uncle had a music shop, Pfaff, the same guy, and they got me a nylon string guitar, and somehow I was going on that, and then learning songs like "Make Me an Island" and "Take Me and Break Me," and
"Make Me an Island today."
And then we moved to Durban when I was just after beginning of high school, and I started writing songs, and at about the age of 15. So yeah.
And that was
That's where the journey began.
And I tell you what, Durban was such a hub. In
Oh,
those
my God.
days, Durban was alive with music. I mean, everywhere you went, there was all the music, from our old folky guys to the rock bands to the pop stuff.
Absolutely. When I was in matric, I would go and sneak into a place called Totem. There was Brian Finch and Kenny Henson and Abstract Truth. And then I used to go to stadiums and watch bands like Freedom's Children and Hawk and Blind Lemon Jefferson. It was just such a healthy scene. And then I used to go and see Clark. And, you know, the rest is history.
The rest is history. So, actually, hi Jenny. Nice to see you, darling. Let's have a look here. We've got Bev Lipman. Hi, Cindy and Neil.
Hi, Cindy.
We love it.
Bev.
Alan Rosenberg. How's it, my friends?
Alan.
Woo! We've got Marion all the way from Sandy Smith. Marion's from Germany. She always comes on.
Hello,
Jenny
Marion.
Horton and the guys from Fame Organisation are always on. They support me all the time. Wow. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming on. Any questions you got for Neil, please post them because we're going to ask him. He can talk. He can tell stories the whole day. I'm so excited to be here. No, come on. Have another whiskey, baby.
Cheers.
I'm on my tea, as usual.
Cheers.
The healthy music scene, things have changed so much.
Yeah, but they've changed for the better as well.
Yes, I want to talk about that too, but I do want to, one of my favorite bands, and I was a youngster still, Uptown Rhythm Dogs, man.
Sure. It was even though I was part of it, it was a great band because I think we were quite unique.
That was it.
And I was playing as a solo artist at a place called the Persian Room at the Four Seasons Hotel in Durban.
Okay.
I did like an 8-month stint there. You'd go and you'd do like 5 o'clock to 7 o'clock was cocktail hour, and I'd sing my heart out. And then you'd have supper, and then you'd play from 8 to 1. And on your own is quite a lot, 6 nights a week, you know, Monday to Saturday or Tuesday to Sunday or whatever.
That was what we did.
And then that's what we did, all of us. And then, but it was good grounding. It was really good grounding. You really got, and obviously I did a lot of covers and I was writing, and that was my sort of beginning of writing days. And then 2 Durban musicians, Tony Hunter and Dan Chaboli, walked in one evening.
Dan Chaboli.
And they said, do you want to form a band? And I said, yeah. And so we formed this band. And Tony came up with the name, the late, great Tony Hunter, and he came up with the name the Uptown Rhythm Dogs, which I have to say no journalist ever picked up on the fact that the Uptown Rhythm Dogs letters is turd. So thank God nobody ever went in a review, this band is turd. So we were very lucky about that.
That is very fun.
Yeah. And I only picked that up about 4 years ago.
Really?
So, yeah.
I love that. You know that solo thing that you're talking about, I totally get it, but it makes you so gig fit. It makes you fit. You can sing. You never got a sore throat. You never got sick.
Well,
and even when you did, you had to sing.
Well, I smoked 60 gulwas playing a day. And then I used to wake up in the morning and the phone would ring and I would wonder why. I'd go like, hello. So I think that's where I got my deep voice from.
Really?
Yeah.
Those gulwas, baby.
Those gulwas, yeah.
I remember I had a French boyfriend who smoked gulwas. I thought it was very sexy.
Actually, you sure you would?
I just thought it was very sexy. Yeah. Can we see a video, please? It's one of my favorites. Julian, play that video of that song that I chose. Please.
Let's see.
Oh man.
Wow.
It's just, you see, now that's brought back a whole bunch
Yeah,
of memories.
a
We've got
lot.
so many amazing comments about that. Nikki's on here. Nikki Borsey, one of my favorite songs. Neill does, I mean, we know, and that's why I'm doing this show, Where Are They Now? From where we came, we've got so much history. And people like Jenny Horton, she used to go to all clubs and stuff like that. She used to see all our bands. She knew all of us. Where did that go? From Uptown Rhythm Dogs to Passengers?
Well, no. I mean, we did
I mean, how
Uptown
did you
Rhythm
get
Dogs.
to
Tony was
it?
killed on the eve of, we supported Janice Ian
Yes.
when she came to South Africa.
Yeah.
On the Friday night, Tony was killed in a motor accident. And on I think the Tuesday, we started the tour. It was just the most devastating thing. And we got Mike Forer came in on saxophone and George Wolfont.
I know George.
Yeah.
Bass player.
Who lives in Paris. And we went on this tour. It was just dread. Well, it was an amazing tour, and she's incredible.
She's
what
great.
a singer-songwriter.
Yeah.
And
but your hearts were broken.
oh, totally. We were shattered, and then I'm getting a bit lost, but
Don't worry. I just want to say that there's so many times that people don't even realize what happens to us backstage, that we will have had something so sad and so awful happen
get out
to
there
us,
and do it.
you just have to stand up and just walk out there and act as if
and then
everything is fine.
Absolutely. And then on top of it, our biggest song had just been released just before we went on the tour with the Occupant album, with that song, The Stranger, was Roxy Lady. And that intro to Roxy Lady, da-dum, da-dum. So we were support act for Janice Ian. We played our first show, I think it was at the Playhouse Theatre in Durban. And afterwards, Janice Ian's manager came and said, got to cut that song because your intro is the same as an intro to one of Janice Ian's biggest hits. And I said, we said, no ways, because that's our big song, that's our radio song at the moment. And they agreed on that, so we carried on playing.
Oh, good. I'm glad you got away with it.
She was. And on the last night of the tour in Cape Town, she said she's taking us all, including the crew, for dinner. And we went for dinner, and on the bus, she said to me, I really like your songs. So I said, well, I don't know how, because you were in your dressing room. She said, I listened to everything, and she said, Roxy Lady, and she went, Junk Fruit and the Spring. She sang all my songs, which was quite an incredible compliment.
It is, because usually the opening act
is nothing.
We are nothing. We're like shoved into a corner somewhere. And, it's if you get your shot on the show, it's fantastic. If you don't, you don't.
You don't, exactly. But we did well. We had a good tour.
Did well.
We were doing well at that time. So, it was a great tour.
And then it morphed into?
No, it didn't morph into the Passengers, because after the Dogs finished, I took a break and I went to London for a bit.
What were you doing?
As in work.
In London,
I just went to check things out for a bit, and I stayed with a friend of mine, and I came back, and then I formed a new band called Neill Solomon's Bazaar.
Okay.
Which had George Forrest on drums, George Spencer on percussion,
Whoa.
Greg Georgiadis, who I'd started with, who was in the Uptown Rhythm Dogs after Tony died.
Yes.
He was kind of always a member of the Uptown Rhythm Dogs.
He's been a member of everything.
Yeah.
Greg Georgiadis.
Greg's, my dad was Greg's godfather. So we used to visit each other in carry-cots.
I love it.
Yeah, our parents were friends.
In carry-cots. Does anybody know what a carry-cot is?
No.
I'm just checking.
You just Google it. And then Steve Minchington on bass, and it was a really cool band.
Was that anything to do with Tracy?
Tracy's brother,
That's
Steve.
what I thought.
Yes. Yeah. So that was the Neill Solomon's was on. Really sadly, we never recorded that band.
Really?
as in officially.
That's very
I've
interesting.
got like live recordings, and it was really, really a good band.
You should grab those live recordings and just put them down on something.
Well,
Clean them
we're
up.
cleaning them up and
That's
going
cool.
through them, and that will be all
Yes.
be put out online.
You've got to do it, especially nowadays, guys. The medium of online. I mean, here we are. We're sitting and talking to you. I think this is spectacular
Yeah,
that we're
exactly.
able to do it.
Yeah.
And the medium. And I mean, at first when this started, I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. How do I do this? And now I know. And we can all learn something at all stages of our lives. There's always room.
Yeah.
Room to grow and move. And I'm so excited you're doing that because it's
And we
cleaning up
get
stuff
requests.
Yeah.
I get constant requests from people wanting
Absolutely.
live recordings of the Uptown Rhythm Dogs of Bizarre. There were a lot of fans of Bizarre, even though it wasn't, I don't think it was for very long. And then after that, my dad passed away, and I moved back to Durban to be closer to my mom, and I joined a theatre company.
I know, the Loft.
The Loft
The
Theatre
Loft
Company.
Theatre Company. He was famous.
Yeah.
He's an actor. He's
Actor.
not just a
Bad
musician,
one.
darling.
But I did it.
Rubbish, I don't believe you. So tell us a bit about that scene because, wow.
It was quite an experience. It was with
Yeah.
Nicholas Ellenberg, who's the most amazing environmental playwright, and it was an amazing team of people. There were some incredible actors, and I learned a lot. And then we did a show called A Nativity, and that became a film
Oh.
called The Angel, the Bicycle, and the Chinaman's
Is that
Finger.
how that
You just-
happened?
That's how that happened.
I was dying to hear about
And
that.
I've always been wanting to get into film music. I always had this thing, I don't want to be a musician on the road for the rest of my life, blah, de, blah, de, blah. And so I went back to Durban, joined the Loft Theatre Company, we made this film because I was a musician.
We're
They
doing
said,
the scores.
do you want to do the score?
Scores,
And that's how I
of
got,
course,
got
yeah.
into film composing.
Yeah.
But my time in Durban was kind of, I got a bit bored because Durban's home, but it's also a bit slow, or was. I don't know what it's like now. And so I started itching to get back. I was writing new songs. And
Joburg, the
so
Bright
Joburg,
Lights.
back to Joburg, and I formed the Passengers.
Okay, Passengers. Now that's where I, of course, also remember you from.
It was
I mean,
a great
wherever
band.
we were, Hillbrow,
Hillbrow,
Chelsea
Underground.
Underground. I love it. Chelsea
Yeah.
Underground, for sure. These alternative clubs that people will remember forever and avoid. And
It was an incredible music scene.
Yeah, the
because
scene was incredible.
Avoid, Petit
Yeah.
Cheval,
Petit Cheval, I love
Tribe
that band.
After Tribe.
Yeah.
You know.
Spectacular,
Yeah.
different bands starting this new romantic thing and the edgy kind of grungy rock thing,
Yeah.
and you guys with your piano based,
Yeah, we were like our own thing.
Yeah, you were definitely your own thing. But
Passengers was very kind of almost jazz,
That's what I'm
funk,
saying.
fusion. Like you say, Gabby
Yeah.
LaRue was on keyboards,
yes,
George Spence on drums, Chris Becker, amazing on
of
bass.
course, great bass player.
Woody from the Bay City Rollers.
Definitely, let's talk about Woody. I've got a picture of you and Woody. I want to hear about this. Julian, please put up that picture. Isn't that gorgeous?
That's
Because
me
he's
and
such a
Woody.
cutie.
That
Tell me.
was, excuse me, this irritation.
Mm.
That was at the Playhouse Theatre,
Mm.
and I'll tell you exactly where. There was a show, we were doing a live score to Richard III, Shakespeare's Richard III.
Okay.
And Franz Dabrowski was playing Richard III. He was unbelievable, and I'd never done that before. And so we were sitting up in like a box in the theatre with all our keyboards and our electronic keyboards and our everything. And the show was 3 hours exactly.
Okay.
And on a Saturday, there were 2 shows.
Yeah.
So we'd sit and just, it was improvisation. We had a few kind of themes and that, but generally we improvised to the acting and all that. And on a Saturday, the show would finish, the new audience would come in and we'd start again and do another 3 hours. So we improvised for 6 hours
Wow.
a night. And that run was for like a month, I think.
That's a lot.
It's a lot, but it was such a learning curve.
And Woody was part of that.
Yeah, Woody came. So going back, the Passengers was a 4-piece band. And George Spencer. So Duncan Forer joined the Rollers
Yes, that's
overseas.
right. Yes.
And then he got George Spencer to go and join them. And they also, Woody and George Spencer and Duncan had a band called Karoo, K-A-R-U.
Mm.
And then they did a Rollers tour, and the Rollers tour finished. And I got a call from George saying, "Are you in Joburg?" "Yes, I am." And he said, "Well, Woody, Ian Mitchell, who was another member of the Rollers, and I are coming back to South Africa and we're joining the Passengers." So I just loved George so much. I said, "Okay, cool." So they just arrived and we became a 7-piece or 6-piece band. 7-piece band.
I love it.
And that's how Woody came back. I think he'd been before, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
And that's how he came, and then that band broke up, and he and I went solo, duo,
Yes.
did gigs as a 2-piece, did the theatre thing with Greg as well, and then somehow Woody and them also formed, after the Passengers, formed Beat the Clock with Angie Peach.
Okay, there we go.
So,
Was
yeah,
George in that band as well?
George was in
Yes, and
Beat
Chris.
the Clock with Chris Becker and Gabby Lulu and Angie.
That's it. Oh my gosh. Yeah, because we had Angie and Ellen Rosenberg from Peach on the show a couple of months ago. This is like our 14th show or something.
I like that number 14.
Yeah, it's better than 13.
Cool. Is this your last one?
No. We've got so many people to interview. There are so many gorgeous people to talk to. And so many crazy stories. The movie scores thing.
I love
I know
it.
that.
Yeah.
So let's talk about your love.
I just love the medium of composing to picture. It's more exciting when you're doing it in the studio because you're pumping the music so loud.
Right,
And
yes.
by the time the movie comes out, the director's gone, drop the music. But I always say that music for film is sub-dialogue. So if it doesn't say something, leave it out.
Totally
agree.
agree.
But I just love that medium. They're not that many. I mean, there are a lot of films being made, but you don't get them all because there's so many film composers. A lot of the American films or South African or British films or whatever, they get made here with great South African crews and that. A lot of the post-production gets done overseas.
Yes.
But I'm thankful that I do get to do a couple a year or 1 or 2 a year at least. It's just a love that I have.
It's such a different medium. As you say, you did a lot of ads as well?
Not really. I never really got into the ad scene. The guys who got into commercials.
But you've done a few.
I've done a few, but I once spoke to an ad agency person, and they phoned me and said, "Right, now we've got a commercial for you because it's film type music." And so I said, "What does that mean?" They said, "Well, you're more of a film composer than a jingles composer." So I said, "But I write most genres and I love writing different things." They said, "No, but you're a film composer." I said, "Okay, cool."
Oh, they do like to compartmentalize.
So that was fine by me. I get that kind of commercial work. But yeah, I'm happy with what I do.
You see, because now you're still able to do that. What was I going to say about the composing? It takes you to a different space because you're not writing a commercial song. You're not writing a pop song with a verse and a chorus and stuff like that.
It's a different headspace.
Different headspace to writing a song.
And I love that challenge.
Yes, I know. That's what I wanted to come to is that going up to that challenge.
Yeah.
And just saying, hey, I can make this talk. I love movies. I watch movies. That's my whole pastime.
I know you do. I used to see you
Yes.
when there were video stores.
The
What were
video
they called?
stores,
Yeah.
the Video Express down the
Video
road.
Express.
I was always there. And now they make me video sticks with just like movies and stuff.
Fantastic.
I
Yeah.
still love my movies. I'm a big fan. And a lot of movies nowadays have got horrible music.
We won't go into that because
When I say horrible music, I'm talking about if it's a New York scene, it's
I know.
or going all the way through the movie.
It's just become generic.
It is generic.
And
I'm glad you said
there's
that.
certain film composers for me who are really big names
Yes.
who have kind of ruined it in a way because it's become commercialized, and I don't know if you know what I'm saying.
I do know what you're saying.
When you had composers like my hero Ennio Morricone, it was done who passed away recently. It was done from the heart.
Yes.
And
Yes.
electronic music. I'm a huge fan of electronic music. I love making electronic music.
Yes.
But to a point, in terms of film music, electronic music has kind of killed it because it's so much easier to make a film score in 3 weeks.
Yes.
Where before it used to have to be scored and an orchestra would play it,
Yes.
2-picture, blah, 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 blah. So I think the romanticism of film composing is kind of gone.
Well, that's what I meant when I said peaked.
Absolutely,
It's kind of peaked. It's like, okay, now what?
Yeah.
It's like the genre of pop music in a way. It's like, okay, so Selena Gomez is the benchmark and Taylor Swift is the benchmark.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That they get to a certain point musically where everything sort of sounds the same. It's like, was that the same producer? No, different 7 producers on her album, but, you know.
Yeah.
It's, so I feel that pop, carry on.
Pop music needs
A jolt.
when punk came out.
Yeah.
Punk came out and said music has become really boring. It's sanitized. Use the word in this day and age.
Are good.
And punk came in, people bought instruments, they couldn't play them, and they just revolutionized music again and brought the rawness back. And pop music is at that stalemate at the moment.
Love it.
I mean, by saying all that, I'm back to writing. I haven't done a Neill Solomon solo album for years, and I'm back to writing. I'm on my 6th song. I'm back to writing, and I'm loving writing in a song format. I'm not quite sticking to a pop format or a radio-friendly format. I'm writing Sound Journey, my format things. So I've got a new album coming out sometime in the near future.
That is very exciting to me. Yeah. That is because you record a lot of other artists.
I do, and I love it.
He loves it, and you work on it, and you put your heart and soul into whatever you bring. You know, it's always a good production. It's got something. It's got solid.
And I want to work on this Cindy Alta song I heard.
We are
better let me.
No, we're going to do it.
Okay, cool.
I'm ready because I'm allowed to go out during the day now. You see.
You're out at night. Eh? There's a curfew.
There's a curfew. I've got to go home. I'm just checking on some of the Dave Charles. Okay, Mark Voss.
Dave.
Mark Voss is here.
Hello,
Mark. We're going to have Mark on the show as well. That's going to be stunning.
He knows too much about music.
I know. That's the problem. He knows too much. Nolene is there. Thank you. Judy Ditchfield, you lovely lady. Thank you for coming and visiting us. Judy. So yeah, we got a nice array of people popping in to say hi. Thank you so much. I'm loving this interview so much. I don't know about anybody else. Oh, yeah, oh, I'm just loving it. It's just too much. Okay, so let's talk about a few of the people that you've worked with as well. Jules, have you got some pictures there that you can just pop up? I just want to look at some of the photos of Neill's band. Look at that.
That was the Uptown Rhythm Dogs.
I love that.
Tony Hunter, the sax player with his saxophone. His surname's Hunter. It was, we were so naive, I suppose, and that's a little street in Durban off Brick Hill Road. I don't know what it's called now. Called Hunter Street.
So we went and
put Uptown Rhythm Dogs on the wall, and that's where we had our photos. I think we look pretty cool.
I think that's extremely cool. Let's see. Oh, look at that. Where was that?
I think that was Solly's Tavern, Solly's
Was that
Saloon.
Dan on
That Dan
okay.
Chiboli on percussion, Tony Hunter, and myself.
Looking very.
I'm not sure about that pose.
No, I think it's very interesting.
That was the Dawson's
Wow.
Hotel in town. We found a place upstairs, opened it, called it the Venue. We opened it. Tony Hunter and not Tony had passed by then, but it was Uptown, and that's when we were launching the album, The Occupant.
Okay.
And then Ev Word came in and took over after us on there.
Oh
Gee,
my
I wish I still
God.
had that keyboard.
That I love.
That's
Look at that.
that's Chelsea Underground.
That was upstairs.
When Dave Marks ran the Venue.
Oh my God.
The famous Dave Marks.
The very
The
famous
man who
Dave.
wrote Master Jack. Yeah.
Indeed. We're going to have some of the Four Jacks on,
Wow.
and I want to talk to
You
Dave
got to have
Marks as
Dave
well.
Marks.
Got to
as
have
well.
Dave Marks on.
Yes.
I mean, talking about the folk scene and all that. When I was growing up, so I was this youngster. I had a guitar teacher named Eric Solomon, and Eric,
Not mine.
not your Eric, not related to you. He's
No.
on the other side of the
Okay.
Gaza Strip.
Not the left side.
You're on the other side of the Gaza
Okay.
Strip.
I saw him across the
Yes, you
fence.
do. Hello. So he used to play with Mel and Julian.
Wow, yeah.
Way back, Mel Miller.
I knew about
And
him.
yeah, they were in the folk scene. And he used to take me to the folk clubs. I was like 14 years old.
Sure.
You know, yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Even probably. And take me to all the folk clubs. And those places were so distinguishable.
Mm.
You know, and when I see a picture like that, the Chelsea and all that, I just get so, like goosebumps. I've asked you, you love the music, obviously, you love your composing and stuff. What else inspires you, Neill? What inspires you?
Lots of things. You know, I one thing is the past is fantastic, and I think
Yes.
I've done some interesting things. I've
Yes.
thoroughly enjoyed them. I've had bumpy roads, I've had good roads, but I'm very much a person who lives in the present and the future.
Love it. Love it.
So all that is done. It's just I've done a lot. I've been
It's
around
memory.
a lot. It's
For the memory
but for me,
bank.
at the moment, I'm painting to have an exhibition, which I'll
Ooh,
which I'll
I didn't
do.
know about that one.
Which I'll probably do in the new year, if there's a new normal, whatever, and launch the album at the same time at the
I love
you know, that kind of thing.
So you're
So
also
I'm
an
inspired.
artist. I never knew that.
I like doing it. I'm
Okay.
not saying I'm an artist. I like doing it. I studied graphic design. That was my
Okay,
thing
so
before I sort of became a full-time musician. So so that's what I'm busy excited about at the moment. Writing songs for the new album.
Yes.
And then I'm also doing things like production music,
Yes.
which I love. It's a whole different thing. And I've just completed an amazing one with Moritz Lotz for EMI in London.
Yes.
So that's going to be released soon as
Wow.
production music.
Wow.
So
Is that going to go on to...
That goes on to all the, it's a label called KPM
Okay.
Production Music.
Right.
And people can download that stuff for films, or
That's
television,
it. I
or
was
their
gonna say
websites.
for TV, for everything.
Yeah, so
So it's just like a library music.
it's library music.
And I wanted to ask you about that as well, because you just, okay, so you're speaking about that. That's very exciting.
I love doing it.
And
I
then
love
just
doing
sending it overseas and let people just use it.
it. So
and
they,
do,
yeah, so
Yes, and you get
they
paid.
commission it,
yes.
and you get royalties for
Yes.
it. So I've done a couple of those. I did one with a young DJ programmer from Zimbabwe called Darlington Chikweo, which is just has taken off. It's on the production music thing. It's
Wow.
just right up there in the top 3, I think, at the moment.
Wow.
It's been for a few months. So I just love doing this thing. I love being behind the scenes.
I know.
You know, I when I get on stage, I truly enjoy it. I have such fun. But right from the beginning, I was more into the behind the scenes thing.
Well, that's what I
producing,
said
writing,
in the
composing,
beginning, you know,
and
behind the scenes as
yeah,
well.
I do love it.
Yeah.
You did say it, yeah. So,
Because that's what I've always got from you, that
Yeah.
you've been, yes, you love the music and everything. I feel like that now.
yeah,
I love performing. I always have.
Mm.
Music has been my muse. You
yeah,
know,
absolutely.
I sold my soul to rock and roll many years ago,
Yeah.
etc., etc.
Not a bad
But
thing.
I'm in a stage of my life now where I'm ready to go the next level, the
And
next
do the
step.
other things.
You know, do other things. I'm
I
very
just
keen.
felt,
Yeah,
if like you do a lot of the live performing,
yeah.
I always just felt like I had to prepare myself for 22 hours a day for those
Okay.
2 hours.
Okay, yeah.
And so I never felt I could do much. You had to rest, or you know what I mean? You know,
I totally
rest
get
your
it.
voice and
Yeah.
all that. And
It's
it's
a
just, it wasn't for
negotiation.
me. It was boring, you know.
It's like just
And-
for the 2 hours on stage,
Yeah, and which is
and all of this
fantastic.
happens before. Again, people,
Yeah.
there's so much that goes on behind the scenes before we even get on that
Yeah.
stage. There's so much preparation. It's like, oh, you're just coming to play at our gig. Play?
Yeah,
No
and,
playing going
yeah.
on here, darling.
yeah, and there is sound checks, and there
And
is.
there's so much
Yeah.
stuff. Michael, hi, Michael. From Germany. He used to be the Ragdolls.
Hello, Michael.
Do you remember the
I remember
Ragdolls? Of
Ragdolls
course you do.
well.
And Paula Ariel's here. Paula.
Paolo,
My darling, we love you.
I like the burger you had the other day, Paolo.
What kind of burger did he have?
He can explain to you.
I love
Not
those
online.
kind of things. No, not on. Okay, don't mention it online. Don't mention the war. Talk
Paolo, by the way,
Yes.
we were
films.
rehearsing, ready to do a gig at Radium, and lockdown came.
I remember.
Yeah, it was
I
Paolo,
was also
Greg
due.
Georgiadis,
Yes.
Cesare on bass, and it never happened.
Yeah.
And then this dreaded lockdown.
This lockdown, like I
This
haven't
COVID.
spoken much about it on my shows because everybody knows the story. We all know what's happened here. I'm waiting to see, because that's all you can do is wait to see what we're gonna look like eventually. Because right
Yeah.
now we
You're-
we don't know what we're gonna look like.
it's
Okay, so
worrying.
live gigs are done. So I'm done. I mean, I can do some online stuff. I've done a few here and there. It's not the same. Singing to a computer, to a camera,
Yeah.
is a totally different level.
Yeah,
Okay, you have to use all your smarts.
yeah,
You have to pull out every little
No
trick
reaction.
and
yeah.
because nobody's reacting. You don't know if there's somebody on the other side going, "Oh, Cindy, I just love that song," because you don't know. It's a totally different ball game for anybody. Live has always been the big thrill.
It's wonderful.
You know,
yeah.
it is the wonderful
It is
big
a thrill.
It is the big thrill. I could never. I mean, the 100,000 audiences and the blah blah blah, magical.
Yeah,
You've been very, I won't say lucky because you created your luck here. You created this.
I created it because I wanted to.
Exactly.
I mean, I also like the business of music. So
Yes.
we've got Passage One Music Publishing,
Yes.
and now we're doing digital releases. And we've got a nice roster of artists, and it's building. And I find that exciting, getting the guys' songs. They're not necessarily, most of them aren't recording them here, but they're sending them through, and we either master them or whatever, or
Fixing them, yeah. the
checking them
studio.
out. And we've got so many different genres, and I get excited by stuff like that. So, and it's so weird, when lockdown came, I realized, gee whiz, I'm on the right path. I've been behind the scenes, studio, composing, can compose online,
Absolutely.
or send stuff online, can release stuff online. So it's actually worked out really, really well, you know.
Well, you created your
Yeah.
new career, so to speak.
I suppose I did
Yes.
because
Necessity.
because necessity, and because I didn't just want to be in the passengers writing songs
Exactly.
for one band, for one sound, for one
Genre.
genre, for my voice,
Yeah.
singing them, blah de blah de blah. And I love the challenge of like writing. Somebody comes and says, I need a soundtrack that's jazz, or I need a hip hop, or I love mixing genres. I love, and all that. And without the limitations of pop music, when I call it limitations, I mean, that thing about you have to write a song that's radio friendly.
Of course.
And suddenly you're writing into a scene of whatever, and it's just so nice.
And even if you are writing for somebody, you've got a purpose. You've got some kind of purpose. It's like, yes, you've said to me, hey, Sin, I'm working with a young artist, singing some songs.
I've got those songs from you.
Yeah, but I'm just saying.
They've got a focus.
There's something there. And for me, when I'm just giving you songs, or I'm particularly, specifically writing for something.
And it's a nice challenge, isn't it?
It's a different challenge, and I love it.
It's like, okay, write something like Taylor Swift,
that's it.
But somebody who's got a more sultry voice or whatever, and
I love it.
Yeah.
That's where I'm, heading more to be doing those kinds of.
Well, you write such brilliant songs, so I've got your songs you send me, and as soon as this is over, that they'll be recorded. Yeah.
Well, that's nice to know. Thank you, Neill. We obviously, as musicians, composers, songwriters, I've never ever worked for a formula. I've never ever said, oh, well, it's going to be da, da, da. Yes, I like a verse, a chorus, maybe a middle age.
But you can hear it in your writing.
I can hear it. I like a bit of structure.
Yeah.
Nowadays, things are so different that there's no formula anymore. It's not even a formula. It's like.
But you're a storyteller, which is great.
Yes, for me as a storyteller, or if I'm writing for somebody, like you're doing a score for a specific movie, it has to fit into that movie.
Absolutely.
So if somebody says, write for this girl, this is what she likes, and blah blah blah, then I will write for her.
Absolutely, and that's a rewarding challenge.
I love the challenge of it. You've done some movie music that's gone quite viral, like Jocko the Bushveld.
Yeah,
I mean,
that was a challenge. I did it with my best friend who passed away so young, Shaluza Max Mantambo. He's a singer from Durban, a Zulu singer who is just amazingly talented. Man.
Yes.
And
was it the animated one?
No,
it was the last.
There were three.
Yes, I remember.
There was the first one which Johnny Clegg did the full score.
Yes.
Then I did the second one where the same filmmaker wanted to have a Hollywood ending, so Jock had babies, so that there could be sequels.
I love it.
And so I did the score. I wrote a song for Jabu Kanyele, and Johnny did Spirit of the Great Heart for that one.
Yes, that's right.
But I co-wrote a lot of that score with Shaluza Max.
Okay. Now, Shaluza Max was the voice of the Lion King in the beginning.
That opening voice of the Lion King, and that score was done by Lebo M.
Lebo, that's right.
And he had Elton John do a track and blah, blah, blah. For me, and I've said this before, and I told Shaluza Max, he totally agreed. Well, he felt the same. His voice established Africa.
Totally.
And because after that, the soundtrack wasn't African.
Yeah, exactly.
Shaluza's Zulu Whale, which he was nobody. I've worked with some incredible other singers of that genre, but that man was pure.
It was exceptional.
And it was, and when you listen, Lion King, I get goosies every time.
Even me, I hear that thing. It's also like the call-outs when the Zulus are calling for the king. But it's, it's all that stuff, and there's so much of that in there. That was spectacular. And you got to work with him.
I worked with him for years. There's an actor, famous actor, who was on all the soaps, Scheme Psalm, all of them, called Becky Kwan, and I worked with him at the Loft Theatre Company, and then we had worked in Theatre for Africa, also in Durban. And Becky called me one day, many years ago, and he said, I've got this young boy from Durban, and he is so talented, and I think you would work well with him, and I'm bringing him to Joburg. I was already in Joburg by then, and he brought him to the studio, and Max and I just gelled, and we clicked like that, and we did so much work together. We did so many corporate shows, music together, and oh man, he was an incredible jazz, Afro-pop, Afro-jazz singer as well. He did an album which wasn't released before he passed away, which really needs to come out as well.
Maybe it shall.
Maybe it shall. Maybe I should work on
Maybe
it
you should.
and get hold of people who own it. So
You've also been so cross-cultural, Neill. You know, you've never been genreized, like it's this kind of music, that kind of music. You work with some amazing like artists from out of this country, African artists, and what was that guy's name? I'm sorry, I can't remember.
you know, if you're talking about, so in more recent years,
Yes.
we've created projects. So Dan from the Uptown Rhythm Dogs and Greg Georgiadis from the Uptown Rhythm Dogs and I wanted to do an album. We were going to do an Uptown Rhythm Dogs album. And so we got together and we started playing. But Greg plays all these amazing exotic instruments like the bouzouki and the oud and the mandolin and all that. And we started writing stuff, and it went very world music. And then we got Nfali Kuyute, the amazing kora player.
Yeah.
He's from Guinea, but he lives in Belgium. He's actually in a very successful band called the Afro-Celt Sound System, who are huge overseas. And so he was involved. There were a couple of other people, somebody from Reunion on accordion. And so we released that in about 2016, I think, 2017. And so we were going to call it an Uptown Rhythm Dogs album, but the Uptown Rhythm Dogs fans wouldn't have connected because it wasn't songs like Roxy Lady and The Strange and that after all these years. So we made a compromise, and it's the Uptown Rhythm Collective. So it's still the Uptown Rhythm Dogs members, but with other people, and it was more of a world music album. And then after that, we did a very cross-cultural album called The Liberation Project, which was between Italy, Cuba, South Africa, and it was again musicians like Phil Manzanero from Roxy Music.
Yeah, I've just worked on him with the Solidarity Express.
Yes, so he was involved as a co-producer on that. And so that was another kind of cross-cultural thing called Songs That Made Us Free.
I've got that album.
Okay, it's a triple album.
I
It was
love
a
that
huge
album.
project.
It's absolutely amazing.
It was a lot of time and investment in that.
But that's, again, that cross-cultural thing which has become so big in the world. You know, do we even call it world music anymore? Do we just say music? You know?
Yeah, I think the world music term is passé.
It's
passé.
Gone. I would not use it.
It's gone because it's gone beyond that. There was a time when you had to say, oh, it's influences from Italy or influences from Lebanon or whatever. That's gone because music is so cross-cultural now. You listen to BBC Radio 6 and they're playing songs from everywhere.
That's it.
And it's pop music, which is popular music.
It's just it's worldly pop music.
Yeah.
John Whitworth. I love it. Somebody had a question for you. What about the Waterboys? Is that show cancelled or postponed?
I wasn't involved, but I believe it was postponed. Is that Sandy?
Yeah, Sandy Smith. She's going to visit us.
I did hear they were coming, and then it was postponed to next year. But who knows what's going to happen in... everyone's like postponed till February. Let's see what happens.
The world is on hold. Everybody, the world is on hold. I want to play that other video. We've got we've got 2 more videos. I really want to get through them. Please play that second video for me, darling.
Which one is this?
I'll find you. Can you hear my call? Can you hear my call? Can you hear my call? I'm calling out to you with my memory. I call out to you. I am my ancestors' call, echoes in the dark, voices in my head. But in my silent world, I'll find you. I'll find you. Can you hear my call? Can you hear my call? Can you hear my call? I'm calling out to you. I dream, I scream, I whisper, I call. I dream, I scream, I whisper, I call, I call, I call. Can you hear my call? Can you hear my call? Can you hear my call? I'm calling out to you. Can you hear my call? Can you hear my call? Can you hear? Can you hear? I'm calling out to you. To you. Can you hear my call? Can you hear my call? I'm calling out to you. I'm reaching out to you. I'm calling out to you. I'm reaching out to you. Can you hear?
How are we doing, everybody? Oh my God, I'm just looking at all our lovely Larry Geffen. Yeah.
Thanks, Larry.
Beautiful. Judy, thank you. Jenny, Hazel. Oh, love it. Hazel's on. Sandy. Everybody's happening. I've got a few more questions for you before we slam this
More?
up. Yeah.
Sure.
I always do my homework. I'm a
I
good
can
girl.
see. I can
Yeah,
see.
I just like give myself a few things.
Why are you checking your watch?
I just like to see how long I can, and I am
How
able
many
to.
questions?
Yes. I'm not letting you see my questions.
Okay.
He's trying to see the
I'm
questions.
trying to sneak them.
Not allowed to. That's fine. I just.
Can see these.
I like working with you. I've worked with you a few times. I love working with you in the studio. You're just cool. You chill, very chilled in the studio. You know what you're doing, and that's how I like to work. I'm not a picky artist. That's every 5 minutes. Oh, I can't hear. I'm very.
I think the process is the most important thing.
Yes.
You know, so many people come, and not so many, but people come and say, I've got this song and can you make it a hit? And I go, I'm not the one to talk to you about that. What I do is, let's record it, let's do what we can, enjoy the process.
Yes.
And because that's what it is.
It
Enjoy
is.
the process
It
of
is.
making music.
Because that will make
If it
it.
becomes a hit, that's a bonus.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't matter. As long as you've enjoyed being creative, making the process of music, making the music is the most important, and that's it. You know, so for me, it's a kind of spiritual place. I mean that, you know what
No,
I
I
mean.
know what you're
Just
saying.
enjoy it.
But that's where I wanted to come to, because just before we say goodbye, for me, music is a spiritual place.
Very much.
It always has. If it doesn't touch your heart and your soul, make you feel something, it's like even disco music made me feel something. I'd be dancing and feel like or even some rap.
So it was made from the right place.
That's it. If it's made from the right place, and if it kicks you, and there's some lekker bakanga and lekker stuff that I just feel it, and I love them.
I remember Zia.
Zia was a great band. Yeah, it was a great band. We had a lot of fun.
Love watching you guys.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had. For me, that was also a calling.
Yeah.
I just felt like we had to do something.
We used to get on stage. I think it was the Thunderdome.
Thunderdome.
Unbelievable.
Oh,
we used to all wait.
I love it. Those were the days, my friend. Neill, before we finish, we've got a couple more things, but we've got a special surprise for you.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's not terrifying. It's actually quite cool. We happen to have Sandy Smith, as you know.
Sandy. Will you do my numbers?
She's giving her numbers. That's exactly
Joking.
I am.
She's just got to put her earphones on. Otherwise,
Hold on.
all we hear is the noise, baby.
Even me. He's muting my
We'll get it right. So basically, while Sandy's getting herself together,
I don't believe this.
she's doing your numbers for you online, baby.
I'll never forget Sandy telling me a story when she interviewed Mr. Bean, Rowan Atkinson. I'll never forget that story.
Oh,
She
my
listening?
Lord.
No, she's not.
No, just tell me who.
There we go, Sandy.
When I'm sure I'm right in remembering the story that you interviewed Mr. Bean, Rowan Atkinson.
Oh, no,
Did you?
no.
Okay, got it wrong. Don't know why I got.
I know
why
that
I
it
thought-
might be too. There's this echo here.
Have you got an echo? We're not hearing an echo, so it's all right.
I know. I think
Jewel.
I don't know why is there echoing.
This is scary.
It's not. She won't ever do anything terrible. Now she's off.
Right. Can you hear me?
Yes.
No.
When I interviewed Simply Red.
Oh, it was Simply Red. Yes, that's right. Was he cool?
Well, first of all, we were in Montreux Jazz Festival. And they were still performing in the casino before they built the massive theatre. And every journalist that wanted to interview him, he said, I only speak to people who speak English. And, you know, he's not exactly got the best English, but all he wanted to tell everybody was he was the best singer the world had ever found. And the best part of his show was his backing vocalists. He kept going off for costume changes and leaving them, and they'd bring the house down. They were so amazing. His ego had, he lost, yeah, you know, one of those.
Okay, I knew there was somebody. Strange that I thought it was Mr. Bean.
Yeah, well, I would prefer to have interviewed Mr. Bean. But let's do...
Sandy, please do
Yeah.
Neill's numerology reading right now.
You know, Neill is always said to me, we're going to meet, we're going to go to the restaurant just round the corner from the house, and then the restaurant burnt down, but we've never quite got to have that lunch. But this time when this COVID... By December, we'll be having that lunch, all right? Now, I can't hear. There we go. All right,
We'll choose a restaurant that's there.
Yes. So an interesting thing. Neill, you're born on the same day as Brian Mulder.
from Jethro Tull.
Really? Wow. And
No,
Brian
Brian-
Malta was on last week.
10th of August.
10th of August.
Wow, I didn't know Brian.
Yeah.
Hello, Brian.
Yeah.
Leo.
Neil, do you have a middle name?
Yes.
What is it?
Lawrence. Laurence.
Okay. Let me
And I was born on St. Lawrence's Day, and I was brought into the world by Dr. Lawrence.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. So
what is it? So let me do your numbers for you. Your Neil is a number 7, which
Good
is
number.
music, art, theatre, culture, travel, trips, journey, fame, investigate, research, Dennis the Menace. Then the same for Lawrence. Lawrence is actually also a 7. Now, I'm not hearing you guys. I can only hear myself talking. Jules, please give me some sound.
Thank you.
There we go.
All right.
Thank you.
So you've got double sevens with Neil and Lawrence. So that's double mischief and double trouble. And your Neil and your Lawrence is never to be the norm. It's always about your uniqueness and your originality. But I feel that maybe in your early 20s or so, where you would be Dennis the Menace and you would try to be different, there was still this worry about fitting in. And, you know, we see that first picture of the Uptown Rhythm Dogs and trying to be cool and all the rest of it. Anyway, you are cool. Then we get Solomon. Solomon is a 4. Produce, direct, write, edit, in front of the scenes, behind the scenes. It means the author. So then we get Neill Solomon, which is absolutely awesome because it's a number 11, which is a power number, which says, I not only serve the masses, I heal the masses in what I do through my music, my art, my theatre, my writing, my producing, my directing. I am able to lift people. It's an 11, so it joins hands, it forms partnerships, it engages with the world. It is about the word online and using all of the platforms. It's basically the healer, which is quite interesting. Now you're born on the 10th, which is, I'm a leader, I'm not a follower. I like to wake myself up, get my day going. I initiate and I lead and I drive. We've got double 8s because Neill Lawrence Solomon is an 8 and you're born in the month of August, which is passionate, strong-willed, no challenge, no point. Very extreme. So there's massive highs, then there can be those lows, but there's a bullishness about you as well. And then you've got these triple 9s. You have a 9 life path. And 9 is kind of yoga-ish and the Buddha and meditative. Likes to smoke a little bit dope. 9's always dope smokers. No, you saying no. I can't hear them, Jules.
You have to start, darling.
Yeah. But let me tell you what the 9 is. It's about how I watch and I listen. I observe. I garner knowledge and wisdom. And I impart knowledge and wisdom. But the important thing, it says, now and again, I'm a little bit worried about money. But money will always find you. Somehow you've always been taken care of.
Yeah.
So,
Sandy.
It's wild.
So where are you?
I'm right. Where are they now? I'm here.
No, I'm saying where are you now? So numerically, this past year you've been in a double 3, which is to write, to draw, to paint, to materialize, to create, to kind of wanting to work in the collective. It's very color orientated, it's texture orientated. And you're getting to a point now, because your birthday is coming in less than a month's time, and you're going into a year which is a double 4, and your Solomon's a 4, so numerically you're going to have 4 4s, which is write, paint, produce, direct, edit. It's all about putting your life into boxes and structures, that's what you do because you can. But I want to ask you to do 2 important things. Your money. So Solomon is easy to live in minimalist, but you're counting your paperwork, because by the time you hit your birthday in 2021 to 2022, SARS wants you. But there's something big happening on the foreign front in 2021. But you've got to be careful of fraudsters and cons who will, you know what you guys have to live with when it gets to, they want you, but we'll pay you later, and then you never get paid. So you need to use your Solomon and say, right, this is the deal, this is how I work, this is how I get paid. If I don't get paid, then I don't deliver. And you have to wait until 2022 August to 2023 August to 2024 August. There's such a resurgence of Neill Solomon. There's such acknowledgement and recognition coming that people that you've worked with before, people that you've bumped in, sometimes people that have seen you might not have connected with you, but know somebody that you know wants to connect with you. It's a very, very big year. So what I'm going to say is 2022, it's rock and roll. Well, it's probably got pop and jazz and a whole lot of other stuff.
Wow.
But I hope that, as you say, that you've been painting, and you're going to probably have a show. I think that it might just go on a little bit longer, and bring in the music and all the rest of it. I'm watching you.
Thank you,
And you're
Sandy.
taking me for lunch.
Yeah, I did. Thank you, Sandy.
Sandy, you're a
It's my
star. Thanks for
pleasure.
coming on the show and doing this, because it's such fun.
Well, I've always been wanting to phone you and say, will you do it for me? Thank you.
She's just done it.
Listen, I know everybody said, come for lunch. I knew I was going to do a reading anyway, but here we are.
Yeah.
Sandy, so much love from me to you, because I adore you as a person, and your art, what you have, is spectacular. She is so good at what she does, and it comes with such good energy. A lot of readers, and I've met a lot of readers. They're very, it's very matter of fact, and but you always come with heart and soul, and that to me is like spectacular. We love you. Thank you for being on the show. We're going to see you again.
My pleasure.
Thank you,
My
sweetheart.
pleasure. Big kisses, lots of love to both of you. Bye.
Oh, cheers, Sam.
Was that nice, Neill?
Yo, that was amazing.
Spectacular.
Wow, that was a surprise.
A nice surprise.
Yeah.
So we have sadly come to the end. I could sit and talk to Neill
no, I'm
for
ready
days.
now.
You've
I've warmed up now.
He was just warming up. Sorry.
Yeah,
Okay, let's start again.
Can we start? Okay.
Right, now
Where
tell
I
me.
started.
Where did you start?
So I was 9 years old.
Ladies and gentlemen, you beautiful people out there, all of the new people that popped on today as well, we want to thank you so much for watching the show, for keeping it alive. I think it's an important show. I think it is vital for us all to connect with these people who are still relevant, because where are they now? He is still working now.
I thought I was only becoming relevant now.
No, you are relevant,
okay,
darling. You've always been relevant.
But I'm around.
Yes, you are around. Julian, thank you for giving me this platform.
Thanks,
Where are they
Jules.
now? Discover TV. We love this platform. There's still so many amazing people to come. Next week I've got Benji Moody.
Wow. Yay.
We're eventually going to have the Bats. Yay. We're going to have Mark Vass. We're going to have Judy Page is coming in. Des and Dawn
Right,
Lindbergh are
right.
coming in.
Yeah.
I've got really great guests. This is all about educating everybody about the music scene and reminding us of where it came from our youth and where we.
You're going
where we
large
are.
now.
We're
The
going
up
all
and
the way.
comings.
The up and coming.
Yeah.
Neill, thank you for giving me your time, my
Cindy.
sweetheart.
Thank
I'm
you.
so always happy to be around
always,
you.
always.
And to
Thank
have
you.
some of your energy on my songs and stuff. I'm looking forward to
And
that.
we've got lots coming.
We've got stuff to work on. It's
And
always
thank you
meant
so
to
much
be.
for having me. I really appreciate it. I've enjoyed it very much.
I'm
Thank you.
so happy.
Thank you.
We're going to play out with one more video of Neill's. It's brand new. Right?
Oh, oops.
Is
Is
this your
this
new one?
what Jules? No, I don't know.
Jules, show it to us,
Show
darling.
it to us, Jules.
To be a
What song are you going to play for us then?
something called Eight Steps to Fly.
Take it away.
Born in this world, you gotta suffer. Everything changes. You got no soul. Try to be gay, ignorant, happy. You got the blues. You eat the jelly roll. There is one way. You take the high road. In your big wheel, 8 steps you fly. I said there is one way. You take the high road. In your big wheel, 8 steps you fly. 8 steps you fly. Look at the view, right to the horizon. Act like the sun, act like you talk. Try to be gay, ignorant, happy. You got the blues, you eat the jelly roll. There is one way. You take the high road. In your big wheel, 8 steps you fly. I said there is one way. You take the high road. In your big wheel, 8 steps you fly. 8 steps you fly. Talk when you talk and cry when you cry. There is one way. You take the high road. In your big wheel, 8 steps you fly. I said there is one way. You take the high road. In your big wheel, 8 steps you fly.
Nice. Love
Thank
it,
you,
love it,
thank you,
absolutely love
thank
it.
you, Julian.
So what's happening in the world of Neill Solomon at the moment?
You lots and